All right, let's get into it. You already know how crucial Telegram is for work. I mean, it's indispensable. But if you're managing a bunch of accounts for different clients or projects, you also know it can feel like you're walking through a security minefield, right? So today, we're going to break down exactly how to navigate that and do it the right way.
So if you're a marketer, a freelancer, maybe a community manager, you're living this reality every single day. You're constantly jumping between different Telegram channels, different clients, different projects. And what happens? You inevitably slam right into that super frustrating 3-account limit on the official app. Sound familiar?
Yeah, you are definitely not alone in this. Professionals, we just need more than 3 accounts. But here's the catch. Just finding some clever little workaround to add more can actually put your whole operation at risk. We're talking getting accounts restricted or even banned. So let's break down the right way to manage all these digital identities and, more importantly, how to dodge those huge risks.
Okay, so let's dive in. To really make sense of all the options out there, we're going to climb what I'm calling a ladder of solutions. We'll start on the very first rung, the basic fixes that, let's be honest, everyone tries first. Then we'll work our way up to the really powerful tools that the pros are using every single day. All right, first up, level 1, the built-in basics. You know, this is the ground floor. We're talking about using the tools that Telegram gives you right out of the box. Look, the official apps are pretty convenient, at least for starters. Adding and switching between those first few accounts is simple, but you hit that 3-account wall and you hit it fast. The bigger issue, though, the one we really need to pay attention to, is security. All 3 of those accounts are tied to your one device. That means they're all creating a single shared digital fingerprint that platforms can track. And that's a problem.
So what exactly is a device fingerprint? Well, think of it like your computer's actual fingerprint. It's this unique signature, a mix of data about your hardware, your software, your IP address, all of it. And here's the thing, when a bunch of different accounts all share the exact same fingerprint, platforms like Telegram see that as a huge red flag. It looks fishy, like spam or bots, and that can get you restricted or even banned.
Okay, let's climb up to level 2, the browser toolkit. Now, this is where we start to get a little more creative. Just using the browser you probably already have installed on your computer. So here we have 2 really common workarounds, and each one has a very clear trade-off. On one hand, you've got browser profiles. These give each account its very own browser window, which is fantastic for separation. But wow, it is a memory hog. It'll slow your machine down. On the other hand, you've got something like Firefox containers. They're much more lightweight. They just isolate your accounts into different tabs. But what's the problem? You can probably guess. Both of these methods still fail to solve that core issue. They all share the same device fingerprint. And that brings us to the top of our ladder, level 3, the professional arsenal. This is for when you need serious scale, serious security, the kind of stuff that these basic workarounds just can't give you. This is where you need specialized tools. And get this, the impact of switching to professional tools is, honestly, it's staggering. We're talking about a potential productivity boost of up to 80%. I mean, just think about that for a second. That is not just some small improvement. That's a total game changer. It's the difference between constantly logging in and out, getting frustrated, and having a smooth, secure workflow that literally saves you hours every single week.
Okay, so at this professional level, you've basically got 2 main paths you can go down. First, there are anti-detect browsers. These are apps you actually install on your computer, and their whole job is to create a new, fake device fingerprint for every single account you manage. Then there's the alternative, cloud-native platforms. These guys take a completely different approach. Instead of running on your machine, they stream a secure browser from the cloud, which means every single tab you open is basically a brand new, perfectly isolated computer.
And this quote about those cloud solutions really gets to the heart of it. It says, each tab is an independent, secure environment. And that right there, that total separation, that's the holy grail for managing multiple accounts. It means there is literally 0 chance of data or cookies leaking from one client's account to another. It's complete isolation. All right, now it doesn't matter which level of the ladder you're on. Whether you're just using the basic app or you've gone all in on an advanced cloud platform, there are some foundational security habits that are just absolutely non-negotiable for everyone.
First off, you've got to harden your authentication. That means using a unique, strong password for every single account. And please, store them in a password manager. Next, always enable two-factor authentication. But, and this is important, use an authenticator app, not just SMS. SMS is way too vulnerable to SIM swapping attacks. And finally, wherever you can, use passkeys. They're the current gold standard for security. Seriously.
Okay, now for some real pro tips to stay under the radar. You have to start thinking like the platform's detection system. Use genuine residential proxies so your account's location looks authentic and not like it's coming from a data center. Stagger your activity. Don't do the same thing at the same time every day. Make it look human. And here's a detail many people miss. Make sure your browser's time zone matches your proxy's location. It's these little details that stop you from looking like a bot farm.
Okay, so we've climbed the whole ladder. We've looked at the basics, the clever workarounds, and the heavy-duty professional tools. The big question now is, how do you actually choose the right setup for you?
Well, your choice really boils down to balancing these 4 key factors. But take a look here. Notice that security and isolation is the biggest piece of the pie, sitting at 40%. And that really gets to the core question you have to ask yourself. Are you just optimizing for simple convenience, or do you need truly robust, bulletproof separation between all your accounts? And this really leaves us with one final thought. We all manage multiple digital identities these days, for work, for our personal lives, for everything. And as we've just seen, there's always a trade-off, isn't there? A trade-off between making things easy and making them secure. So the big question I want to leave you with is this. In a world of multiple digital identities, what's the true cost of convenience?